When you feel sore after a workout, it's easy to assume that your muscles will recover and grow back stronger and more defined than before. In fact, many people believe that the sorer they are, the more effective their workout must have been. However, the truth is that soreness is actually not a good indicator of muscle growth. In fact, research shows us that there is no relation between delayed onset muscle soreness and building muscle. Research also indicates that muscle damage, which is what causes the soreness, is actually not even required to build muscle. And the evidence shows that muscle damage doesn't correlate with hypertrophy or muscle growth. On top of that, excessive muscle damage might even put new muscle growth on hold because it will prevent you from being able to hit the gym again sooner rather than later. And since total workout volume is an important factor for muscle growth, being sore for too long and underperforming during certain workouts can actually have detrimental effects on building muscle. Now, this doesn't mean that you shouldn't train hard, and if you're never even a little sore, then the truth is you're probably not training hard enough. But there are 7 simple things that you can do to accelerate your recovery and reduce soreness so that you can push yourself without overdoing it. And the first thing may actually surprise you, but make sure you don't switch your exercises and your workout program too often. This is because delayed onset muscle soreness is mostly felt after performing exercises that you're not yet accustomed to. For example, you can squat a ton and never get sore, but as soon as you switch it up for Bulgarian split squats, even if you go much lighter, you'll probably still get sore during that initial workout session. After that initial session, an adaptation process known as the repeated bout effect greatly reduces muscle soreness when you do the exercise again, even if it's months later. You've probably experienced it yourself where you feel really sore doing an exercise for the first time. Then the second time, you're already much less sore. And after a while, you might not even experience any kind of soreness at all. Many people switch up their workouts all the time to chase that muscle soreness. But what they don't realize is that they're chasing neurological adaptations rather than muscular adaptations. So you shouldn't change your exercises too often. Of course, you don't always want to do the same workout over and over again, and you should change it up every now and then because there's such a large variety of great exercises that can help you get stronger. So I like to change up my workouts every 6 to 8 weeks, but you should aim at minimum to stick to the same workout for at least 4 weeks to make progress and begin mastering the exercises. Now, regardless of your workout schedule, your diet will also decide how quickly you recover from a workout. So you should definitely try to take in enough omega-3 fatty acids to help decrease muscle and joint soreness. There was a study published in the Journal of Sports Science and Medicine that tested whether omega-3 supplements could reduce inflammation and soreness. To test this, the participants were required to restrict omega-3 intake for 14 days. Then they would perform a workout with bicep curls. After that, they spent 7 days supplementing with 3,000 milligrams of omega-3 per day, and then they performed bicep curls again. And the researchers measured the differences in inflammation, muscle soreness ratings, swelling, and temperature. And even though arm soreness increased both times in response to the bicep curls, participants felt 15% less soreness during the omega-3 supplementation portion of the experiment. The researchers believe that omega-3 helped reduce soreness thanks to its ability to decrease pro-inflammatory factors like IL-6 and TNF-alpha. So the bottom line, to take advantage of this, do your best to eat some fatty fish. 2 servings per week of a fish like salmon is a great guideline. You do definitely want to make sure that you take in some form of omega-3 because most people nowadays consume way too much omega-6, and you want to maintain a good balance between your omega-3 and your omega-6 ratio. Another simple way to reduce soreness, which happens to be one of my favorite things to do after any workout, is something known as contrast therapy. Essentially, you would really heat up your entire body or just one of your body parts, and then you would immediately reverse this and cool it down. And you would repeat this process a couple times. When researchers compared this form of contrast therapy to things like cold water immersion, hot water immersion, passive recovery, stretching, and active recovery, they found that contrast therapy led to better improvements in the areas of muscle soreness as well as post-recovery strength levels than every other recovery method. That's pretty impressive, guys. It also was able to reduce muscle inflammation, improve mobility, and enhance muscle range of motion significantly. Now, the easiest way to do this is by simply switching between a very cold and hot shower. You can switch back and forth doing a minute of each for a total of 10 minutes. But like I mentioned in another one of my videos, my personal favorite way to do this is by using a sauna in combination with an ice plunge. So with that method, you would get your body really warmed up in a sauna by staying in there for at least a few minutes. And then once you're really warmed up, you would then jump into the ice plunge, which is basically freezing cold water. Of course, gyms usually don't have access to an ice plunge, but you can do something similar by using the sauna at your gym and then immediately jumping into a cold shower for at least a minute afterwards, and then doing that back and forth for a few rounds. If you really want to try an ice plunge though, which I highly recommend everyone tries at least at some point, it feels amazing. So you can find an ice plunge in most traditional Russian and Korean bathhouses. The next step that you can take to reduce soreness is to drink coffee before your workout. That's right, studies show that consuming caffeine before a workout can reduce subsequent muscle soreness and fatigue. For example, one study measured the perceived levels of soreness in men that took caffeine 1 hour before a workout, and during this workout they performed bicep curls. The results showed that the consumption of caffeine led to a reduction in muscle soreness in the biceps when compared to the placebo. The researchers concluded that the reduction in soreness could allow someone to increase the number of training sessions in a given time period. In another study published in the Journal of Pain, they found similar effects where having caffeine before a workout helped reduce muscle soreness by a whopping 48%. So you might be wondering how and why caffeine has the ability to decrease muscle soreness. Well, one reason is that caffeine acts as an antioxidant in the body, and antioxidants assist with recovery. But caffeine also reduces pain perception, which means your impression of muscle damage becomes less intense. This is actually why caffeine is many times found in over-the-counter pain medications. Now, it is important to note that the studies showed an effect from taking the caffeine before a workout. It's not clear whether that same effect applies when taken post-workout. Also, if you drink caffeine too often, you'll build up a tolerance and reduce the effects. So you might want to limit caffeine intake to only before your workout, especially because having it later on in the day can also mess with your sleep schedule. Next up, we got foam rolling. And even though the evidence on foam rolling is not yet entirely conclusive, there are some studies and plenty of anecdotal evidence that supports that foam rolling can actually help reduce muscle soreness. For example, in a small study, men were divided into two groups, and one of these groups would foam roll for 20 minutes immediately after their workout, and then they would foam roll again once a day for the next 2 days. Meanwhile, the other group didn't foam roll at all, and they found that foam rolling led to a reduction in delayed onset muscle soreness compared to not foam rolling. Plus, the men that foam rolled after their workout also experienced better athletic performance afterwards than the men that didn't. Another small study also examined the effects of foam rolling on soreness and performance post-workout, and they discovered that those that foam rolled experienced a reduction in muscle soreness, and they also experienced increased muscle activation, increased vertical jump height, and increased flexibility. Keep in mind, like I said at first, both studies were small, so we can't make a definitive conclusion on whether foam rolling post-workout is beneficial for everyone. But it does at the very least seem to help stimulate blood flow, which can help your body deliver nutrients to your broken down muscle fibers. Another great way to reduce muscle soreness is, ironically, to stay active. It might feel very counterintuitive to take a brisk walk after a heavy leg day, but it really can help quite a bit. For example, in a study revolving around eccentric training exercises, which, in case you don't know, it's well documented that this eccentric style of training produces much more muscle damage than the more regular concentric style of training. So all participants performed the same eccentric workout, but after the workout, they were divided into 3 groups. One did 20 minutes of moderate intensity cycling. The other did 20 minutes of low intensity cycling. And finally, the last group simply sat down and rested. Ultimately, the results showed that the participants that performed a 20-minute bout of low or moderate intensity cycling immediately following their strength workout, they experienced a reduction in muscle pain, and they also improved their strength levels. Finally, last but not least, getting enough high-quality sleep every night is actually one of the best things you can do to reduce soreness. If you don't get enough sleep, not only will you experience more muscle soreness, but that feeling of soreness will actually linger around for a longer period of time. There are a number of studies on sleep deprivation, but one in particular had rugby players play games and then either get 8 hours of sleep or they would sleep deprive themselves and get no sleep. Afterwards, the researchers assessed how sore the athletes felt and how they responded physically in general. And sure enough, the sleep-deprived group reported feeling more physically fatigued. They also had slower cognitive function, decreased lower body strength, and a higher rating of muscle soreness. So to help prevent muscle soreness, make sure that you're getting enough high quality sleep. The exact amount required does vary from person to person, but between 7 and 9 hours does the trick for most people. Also keep in mind that you can take steps to increase the quality of your sleep. For example, you should maintain a consistent sleeping schedule. Don't go to sleep one night at 10 p.m. and the next night at 2 a.m. Another very helpful way to get better quality sleep is to make your bedroom pitch black. You can also consider potentially supplementing with magnesium and melatonin if you struggle getting to sleep and staying asleep. So that about wraps it up. I really hope this video has helped you out. If it has, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Make sure you try these simple but effective tips to help reduce soreness. And if you feel that your workouts aren't really helping you make progress, you can try one of my programs by heading over to my website. Also, if you're looking for a done-for-you system that helps you drop 20 pounds off the scale or 5% of your body fat in the next 6 weeks, then visit my website and try my 6-week challenge. The program comes with a customizable diet plan that'll be based around you and your preferences, and it's designed to maximize your metabolism as you drop fat. We can create a plan based on whatever works better for you, whether that's carb cycling, paleo, intermittent fasting, the 1 meal a day diet, vegan, vegetarian, you name it. You'll also get a 42-day workout plan with a full video exercise library and a recipe book that'll go hand in hand with your diet. And on top of all that, you'll of course have an accountability coach there to guide you through the entire process. To find out more, you can click the link in the description below, or you can visit my website directly at gravitytransformation.com. I'll see you guys soon.